Hey guys, how about some homework help on our first quiz for section 5.1? Click in your course and you're going to look for congruence. And here's the quiz. Mine says September 16th. I don't know what yours is going to say, but here we go. Okay, so they give us a statement and we got to see which parts match up. So let's take a look here. We have JK is first and second. That should match with B and C. JK does not match with AB, so that can't be right. JK cannot match with KL, so that's not right. Now they say JL. How about JL? First, last should be with BA. This is the one that's right, and we can move on once you find it. Joaquin drew this triangle. Which one must be true about a figure that will be congruent? Will it have two angles on the x-axis? Well, it doesn't matter where it's at. It just has to be the same side and shape. Will it have a side that's 9 units long? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, since this has one that's 9, it will also have to have one that is 9. Does not matter where it is. And will it have an obtuse angle? Well, do you see all three of these angles? These are little angles, which we call acute, so that's not it. If triangle MNO is congruent to NMO, which statement best describes triangle MON? That is tricky. Well, let's take a look here and see what we can do. That one makes me laugh a little bit. I think that's really hard. So this is saying that we have two triangles and angle M has to match with angle N. So let's call this MNO. M has to be the same as N. So I would put N here, but look, do you see how N's here? It just means they're equal. Angle M equals angle N. So two angles are the same. And then O just matches with O, so duh. O has to match with O. But what about the sides? MN is a side. It will match with NM, so that side will be equal. NO and NO. MO. Oh, looky here, guys. MO will match with NO. Well, if MO matches with NO, you're going to have two sides that are equal. And if two sides are equal on a triangle, we call that equal. We do not call it equilateral. We call it isosceles. So the triangle is isosceles. Now, it's not equilateral, though, because, well, that last one they didn't tell us, but is MN, could it be equal to the other? Let me think for a minute, guys. Shouldn't be this hard. Well, what if they made another statement where they said that MN matched with MO? Could MN possibly be with MO? I don't know. Let's say it's isosceles. You guys might want to change your answer at the end of this video before you submit to see if I got it right. I don't know that it's equilateral or not. So maybe we should say possibly. Let's say possibly. Let's say possibly equilateral. Miss Bruno doesn't know. They skunked even me. Which pair of segments in the figure below are congruent? Well, you could tell by the markings, okay? See all those markings they use? Does AB has how many? AB has 3. Does JK have 3? JK has 1, not it. AB has 3. Does PN have 3? PN has way too many. BC, how many does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. BC has 6. How many does MN have? 2, 3, not it. BC has 6. Does PN have 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That will be it. Last one. Which statement is true? A scalene triangle and a right triangle are always congruent. No, scaling means no sides are congruent. Right means one right angle. They could or could not be. They don't have anything to do. That's not it. A scalene triangle and a right triangle are never congruent. Well, they could be, like I said, but we don't know for sure. An equilateral triangle and a right triangle are always congruent. No, that's not true. Equilateral means all sides are equal. Right triangle is just about the angle. An equilateral triangle and a right triangle can never be congruent, and that actually is true because if you have a right triangle, even if the two sides are equal, the hypotenuse is always the longest side, so that's going to be the case there. This quiz is really hard. Linnea has drawn a line from one corner of a rectangle to the opposite corner. Let's see what she did here. The line divides each of the right angles into two angles. Let's go to draw our picture. A 32 and 58. So a small one of 32 and a big one of 58. Which statement best describes the resulting triangle? Well, on this one, if that's 32, then this one has to be 32 down here, the smaller one, and then the bigger one is 58. We have those right angles too, don't forget. The two triangles are not congruent because the corresponding sides don't have the same length. Well, we don't know anything about the sides. Let's see. The two triangles are congruent, but they are oriented differently. Well, they kind of look like they're congruent, and if you turn it around, I think that might be it. Let's keep reading. The two triangles may be congruent, but additional information is needed about the angle measures. No, we know all about the angles. All those angles are equal. The two triangles may be congruent, but additional information is needed. Well, let's think about the side lengths. What do you guys know about rectangles? Well, I know rectangles have opposite sides equal. So if this has one tick, that has one tick, this has two, and that has two. And isn't that side congruent to itself? So couldn't I put 3 there and make it equal to itself? Those guys are definitely congruent. It just looks kind of funny. Jermaine knows that QRS and FGH have two sides that are 9 millimeters long. What statement best describes the two triangles? Well, let's see. The two triangles are congruent because there are two pairs of congruent corresponding sides. No, we don't know. You have to know all three sides. You have to know all three sides in order for you to say that they're congruent. It says he just knows that two of the sides are 9. They don't even know which ones. The two triangles are congruent because both triangles are isosceles. Now, they are isosceles, but you don't know what the third side is. Maybe those two sides equal or far apart. Maybe they're close together. They can be congruent, but additional measurements are needed. I definitely need more measurements. They may be congruent, but additional information is needed about the orientation. No, I don't need to know about the orientation. I just need to know the measurements. So let's go with C. What about this guy? Are they congruent? Well, yeah, they are. They only have 2 marks like I talked about on that rectangle, but this one is congruent to itself. So if I separated those triangles, I could put 3 marks on each of them. So let's do the matching. W. W is between 1 and 2. Which one is between 1 and 2 here? Y. So W and Y have to match. It does not match on the third one, and it does not match on the third one. So it has to be one of the first two. X is between 2 and the 3. X will match with Z. Is Z between the 2 and the 3? Yes, it is. X is going to match with Z, and then that leaves Z and X to be together. Z will be between the 1 and 3. X will be between the 1 and 3. Okay, in triangle FGH, let's go ahead and draw it here. And my picture will be bad, but that's going to be okay because I don't know what these measurements are. I'm going to put them in after. FG is 12.3. GH is 10.6. Angle G is 80. Yeah, my picture is really bad. Angle H is 55. And that's all they know. But we know that triangles add to 180, so I actually can figure that one out if I want by taking 180 minus 80 minus 55. And this guy is going to be 45. But I don't know what that side length is. But it tells me that ABC is congruent to GHF, and that tells me a lot. So what do I know is true? Well, AB. AB is first and second. It will match with GH, which is first and second. So that means GH has to be 10.6 and AB has to be 10.6. So that would be this guy. Will C be 55? C matches with F. No, it'll be 45. And C won't be 80 because that will match with G. Okay, let's see what Manuela claims. A, B, and PQ are congruent. Which statement best describes? Well, AB is 1, 2, 3. PQ is 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think she's right. She's incorrect because the segments don't have the same orientation. No, the orientation is fine. It's the length that's the problem. They have to be the same length. Okay, let's see if I got that one right that I was worried about, guys. Let's submit. Oh, I did. I did get them all right, so you guys can be happy, but that one was super tricky. I think we're going to give you a couple bonus points on this quiz if you don't quite get them all right, because I thought that was pretty